Hello, Giving Kitchen community. My name is Jen Hidinger-Kendrick. I am the founder of Giving Kitchen, and Allison and I are thrilled to be sharing some time with you today. Thank you for giving us some space. And before we get started, I want to take a moment and recognize the very recent passing of GK dear friend, supporter, and Giving Kitchen board chair Bill Brewster. Bill believed in the work of Giving Kitchen fully. His leadership has really pushed and inspired us over many years to take Giving Kitchen to where it is today as a national nonprofit helping food service workers. We owe such a debt of gratitude to Bill and his family, and it's really in Bill's legacy that we are here sharing the story of hope for Giving Kitchen and the mission of helping food service workers across the country to serve and impact more people. There was a bit of a watershed moment for Giving Kitchen back during the pandemic that we'll share a little bit more about later, but it was a quote from Bill that really is a motivator for us, and that is, "In the face of difficulty, hope can be found, and Giving Kitchen is that hope." And I'm really excited to share some time with Allison to really look at our path forward for food service workers in crisis. And to continue Bill's legacy, and I think really the legacy of so many others in our room here today and out there at your desks or wherever you might be, this story that I'm about to share is one of the ways that reminds us of what we do each and every single day, and more importantly, why we do this work. And what I want to share with you all is a client's story, a statement of need. What is a statement of need, you ask? A statement of need for Giving Kitchen is when a client, a food service worker anywhere in the United States, reaches out and very courageously asks for help from Giving Kitchen. So this is one of those stories and a beautiful way to set us deep in our foundation and connection with you today. This is from a manager, bartender, and server. Yes, all three. Also a mom, a student, and so much more. These are her words describing the moment when she had the courage to ask for help from Giving Kitchen. "I am a mother of a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old and a full-time college student. I will be graduating this summer with my BS in applied physics. Before my accident, I was a food service worker. I stepped too close to the edge of a dark road and rolled my ankle, buckling and breaking it in 3 places. I had surgery that placed 2 plates and 8 screws in my leg, and I've not been able to work since then. I'm trying hard in physical therapy to get back to work. I've lost all of my income and used all of my savings. I've applied for everything, sold personal possessions, and asked for help to pay my bills. But this is week 10, and I've exhausted it all. My credit is ruined because paying the mortgage, power, insurance, car, and phone come first, along with food and diapers. My job is eagerly awaiting for me to return, and I'm extremely excited to work again. This is one of the hardest things I've ever experienced. We are trying so hard not to lose it all, but my income paid for about 75% of our bills, and we are close to losing everything." That is just one story out of hundreds and hundreds of asks for help that we receive on a weekly basis from, again, very courageous individuals across our community. Again, one story of tens of thousands of food service workers Giving Kitchen has helped since our inception in 2013. In fact, since then, we have served over 22,000 food service workers in crisis to the tune of around $13.5 million in financial assistance since our beginning. And in a very timely way, I am thrilled to be sharing this opportunity, again, with Allison as our very first ever CEO. Allison is someone that we are really excited to share this space with and to use her vision and perspective to guide us forward on a new path. Allison has spent years as a community organizer in public education and working for nonprofits. a decade of executive leadership at the Anti-Defamation League, a global historical anti-hate organization. She has a PhD in sociology and so much more, but I want Allison to really take the stage and share a little bit more about why Giving Kitchen for her. Oh, I would love to. Thank you. I think it's a story that's a motivator for me personally, even though it touched me personally. For those of you that don't know, my late chef husband, Ryan Hidinger, is the reason Giving Kitchen exists today because of what community did to uplift us in his time and our time of need. Ryan worked at Muss & Turner's, a sandwich shop in Smyrna, Georgia. And we had hopes and dreams of opening up our own dream restaurant one day. And as we hosted supper clubs out of our home and built a business plan and really searched out these opportunities, at the end of 2012, Ryan got sick, which led to an MRI, and it led to being in front of an oncologist where we were told Ryan was diagnosed with stage 4 gallbladder cancer. He was given a less than 5% chance at survival. Stage 4 meant that the cancer had metastasized to his liver and his lungs, and he was given a 6-month terminal cancer diagnosis. And I remember he challenged me to go home that evening and to call our friends and family with the news. And I remember making 3 initial phone calls, the first to family, and call number 3 to Ryan Turner of Muss & Turner's, his boss and mentor at the time. And it was what happened immediately after that when Ryan Turner, Chris Hall, Todd Mussman came to my dining room table with Ryan and sat down with us and said, let us help. Because it's exactly what community does to help their own. And within 3.5 weeks, a fundraiser was put on called Team Heidi, a shortening for her last name of Hidinger. And nearly 1,000 people showed up. 45 of Atlanta's most beloved restaurants and bartenders came together, live music and an auction. And my late husband stood on stage at the time and declared his cancer diagnosis a gift because of what it had done to bring so many people together in hope and in unity to support his family. That event was meant to raise some money to help us pay our mortgage and living expenses. And what it turned into was an evening that raised nearly $300,000, and this light bulb moment occurred hours after that, where the opportunity to help food service workers like Ryan was really the future of paying it forward. And Giving Kitchen really started right then and there with tremendous community support, and here we are, 11 and a half years later. It's pretty remarkable. What Allison was referring to was a really beautiful moment for Giving Kitchen. I was invited to speak at the Welcome Conference in New York City by restaurateur and best-selling author Will Guidara. He produced this conference about 10 years ago, and I got to be the 10-year anniversary, one of the key speakers there. And I remember on stage for 25, probably a little over that, minutes, and the one thing that kept channeling back into my brain was this remarkable culmination of where Giving Kitchen came from, and more importantly, where we're going, and everything that has happened inside those 11 and a half years to get us to, as you know, a national stage to share that story. It was a really remarkable opportunity of vulnerability, met transparency, that met a new opportunity for partnership, and making sure that Giving Kitchen was at the forefront of not only food service workers' lives, but everybody in community, because food service touches everybody in community. I think it's pretty remarkable. You know, we mentioned at the very beginning, you know, from 1 to tens of thousands, and now Giving Kitchen in 11 years has helped 22,000 food service workers plus. We're just at the beginning, and that's what's so phenomenal. We have some really big goals for Giving Kitchen, and just one of those is to serve 20,000 food service workers annually by 2026. We are just on the cusp of that, and we really need community's help to make sure we get there. While a path forward in this North Star and a vision is incredibly important for us to stay encouraged by, it is really important to talk about our foundation and why. The first years of Giving Kitchen really were the starting point for us recognizing the directive of my late husband, Ryan, who said, I want Giving Kitchen to be for everyone. That is really the base motivator for what we've done over the 11 years. We have, you know, when Giving Kitchen started, we are a hometown nonprofit serving full service restaurant workers. Today, we serve food service workers in all aspects of commercial food service, from catering and concessions and food trucks and cafeteria workers and bars and tap rooms, all across the United States. At the very beginning, we only offered financial assistance. Today, we offer a plethora of local resources that we can offer to food service workers across the country that they may not otherwise know exist. This is access to mental health and wellness opportunities, or physical health and wellness opportunities, and housing utility, you know, opportunities. Those are things that have evolved because we were at the forefront of listening to what our community needs. We have invested tremendously in our technologies, and so much so in a way that we now have a multilingual call center. We use an interpretation service so we can speak in over 180 languages to food service workers across the country. That means there's no barrier to entry in coming to us and asking for help. My vision for Giving Kitchen is that we are the very first stop on the road to stability and opportunity for this industry that we absolutely love. We're not done yet, and I think really that's the key to where we're going. Allison, I have a quick question for you. Can you talk a little bit about our path forward as it pertains specifically to our expansion across the country, our footprint? Like, what can people expect to see out of Giving Kitchen across the country? I love it. I think it's also really important to say while we are built in Atlanta, this is again from a hometown nonprofit to being a national organization, we know that we're just at the beginning of that. We have a really strong community here in Atlanta at HQ, our headquarters, but we've just started to invite other people in community in Chicago, and we will continue to do that as we really practice the strategies that we've put forward in engaging communities outside of hometown to make sure that we are following through with that directive.
Yeah.
And I know we talk so much about Giving Kitchen, hometown nonprofit. Now we're expanding and we're national. We will never forget, and I think it's really important for me to say this with our team, that we will never forget where we came from and how we are built. We are focused so intently on community and gaining and nourishing and nurturing the trust that we've built in communities. So people know that whether they're in food service or outside of food service, we're the very first stop when someone is in crisis, needs help, they're thinking of Giving Kitchen first. And building strong communities will always be at the core of what we do. And share Giving Kitchen with someone else.
Yeah.
Share Giving Kitchen, be a pal to food service workers. When you go out to eat, all you got to do is say, hey, do you know about Giving Kitchen? Allison, I have another question for you.
Yeah.
As our brand new CEO, I do love saying this, what are you most excited about? I think you're a wonderful cultural fit for our organization, and we're really excited to have you. And I also promise that we did not plant this next question. This is a true question from an audience member. Thank you for chiming in ahead of time and making sure that we answered this for you. The question comes specifically as, how can we, as a community, better support and promote Giving Kitchen? And don't be afraid to reach out to either Allison, myself, or anybody on Giving Kitchen's team. Of course, we will be the first to share whatever you need out in community. I want to take a moment and just say thank you again for everybody who tuned in. I want to also say maybe we can do this together on camera. You look in your camera, I'll look in mine. Okay. We're going to say that we are Giving Kitchen. On the count of 3. We are Giving Kitchen. We help food service workers.
If you own a restaurant or you're in hospitality, I think it's incredibly important to know about Giving Kitchen and support them and to support food service workers through the entire industry. We share Giving Kitchen's mission every time we onboard an employee. We let them know what benefits are available through the company. We let them know what organizations we support and that support us, and Giving Kitchen is at the very top of that list.
I reached out to Giving Kitchen for assistance because I broke my foot and I was going to have surgery, which was going to require me to be off of work for 3 months. Applying for the Giving Kitchen was seamless. I just did my application online. It only took me probably about like 20 minutes to an hour to fill out, and then they called me back within a couple days. It felt like I was getting help with like no questions asked.
We had a mold infestation in our household that we wasn't realize that was a problem. My family had to move out of that house ASAP because it was such a high level, and that put a lot of stress in our lives. So they took care of 2 months worth of my rental payment, as well as my electric bill, water bill, gas bill. Whatever your needs are, it alleviates that so you don't have to be so stressful in a time of need.
So the resources I received was mostly just checks for my bills. So my electricity, my gas bill, my rent money. Now that the Giving Kitchen has helped me, I spread the mission through word of mouth. I tell everyone I can about how they helped me, or if someone else is in need, I try to tell them like how to get help through the Giving Kitchen.
I support Giving Kitchen because Giving Kitchen supports restaurants. I think what's really important for hospitality workers to know is to ask your employer if they're involved with Giving Kitchen. It's important to be involved as a restaurant and an owner to help your employees. I meet people every day in my restaurants that can benefit from what Giving Kitchen has to offer, in as simple as, I just had surgery, but I have to get back to work, but I need to rest and recover or else the surgery will be worth nothing. So it's that gap between when they got the health care that they needed to the time they actually need to recover and be healthy again. That's where Giving Kitchen comes in and can say, hey, we're gonna help you bridge that gap so that you can get all the way healthy.
When something traumatic happens, how traumatized you are from it depends on how the people around you react to you and the situation you're in. Receiving support, it makes the event itself less traumatic because of the support the Giving Kitchen gives.